I used to write fluff pieces, celebrity sightings, overpriced brunch reviews, pet fashion shows with dachshunds in tiny tuxedos. I wasn't exactly Woodward or Bernstein. I was the kind of journalist you hired when you needed 20 feel-good paragraphs before the Sunday crossword. And honestly, I didn't mind. It paid the bills, and no one ever tried to kill you over a new brunch spot. All that changed the morning I found the envelope. It was sitting there on my desk, plain, unmarked, no postage, no return address. It's just an ordinary white envelope, slightly crumpled, as if whoever left it behind had second-guessed themselves at the last minute. At first, I thought it was a prank, or maybe a tip about a celebrity sighting. Some overzealous fan trying to catch their big break as an anonymous source. But when I tore it open, what slid out wasn't anything like that. It was a list. One sheet of paper, typewritten in a simple, sterile font. No letterhead, no explanation, just names. At the top, Senator Richard Halden, Marcelo Verhoeven, the tech billionaire, Elaine Rousseau, the fashion designer. Names I knew. Names everyone knew. Hey, below them, others I didn't recognize. Unfamiliar combinations of vowels and consonants that meant nothing at first glance. But when I typed them into my laptop, piece by piece, a darker web began to reveal itself. Shell corporations, obscure investment groups, offshore trusts, a philanthropic foundation supposedly devoted to children's welfare. Its board of directors, little more than blurred faces and fake LinkedIn profiles. At the very bottom of the page, one line, bolded and in italics. Event attendance confirmed. June 3rd, 2 a.m., Blackwood Estate. There was also a photo tucked behind the list. It was blurry, the lighting terrible, but the scene was unmistakable. A small child, no more than 6 years old, barefoot, standing alone inside what looked like a rusted shipping container. Behind her, 3 adults loomed, dressed in dark suits and heavy masks. One of them held a syringe. My stomach twisted. I dropped the photo as if it had burned me. It had to be fake, had to be. But a voice deep inside me, the one I'd spent years smothering with bottomless mimosas and gallery openings, whispered otherwise. What if it wasn't fake? What if it was real? The name Blackwood Estate nagged at me. I'd never heard of it before. No address, no city. Just a vague sense of dread attached to those words. I started digging. Late nights, cold coffee, burner Reddit accounts. Anything that couldn't be easily traced back to me. Blackwood Estate was real, all right? A sprawling private compound nestled deep in the mountains, surrounded by miles of dense forest. No public road led there, no phone lines. The property was owned by an offshore trust buried beneath 6 layers of corporate obfuscation. Every June 3rd, private jets with unregistered tail numbers landed at a nearby airstrip. No manifest, no press, no questions. Whatever happened there, it stayed invisible until now. I reached out to an old source of mine, a friend from my early days covering city crime, before I'd traded beat reporting for celebrity fluff. He still had connections, still wore a badge, still knew how to keep his mouth shut. I sent him the list. 2 days later, he disappeared. His apartment door was left swinging open. His badge was on the floor, his gun still in its holster. No signs of struggle, just a note written in shaky handwriting on a scrap of lined paper. Don't trust anyone. They watch everything. The police wrote it off as a personal leave of absence. I knew better. That night, I came home to find my apartment changed. Nothing stolen. No obvious vandalism, but drawers slightly ajar. Papers shifted. My laptop blinking with an error message I'd never seen before. Every hard drive wiped clean. My phone died and never turned back on. They hadn't come to rob me. They'd come to send a message. I tried to go public, called editors, journalists, old contacts. Some didn't answer. Some told me to lose their number. One editor, a guy I'd gotten drinks with a dozen times, said only, "I'm sorry," before hanging up on me. 3 days later, I was let go from the paper. Budget cuts, they said. Performance issues, they said. I didn't even fight it. I packed a single duffel bag, emptied my savings account, and left town that night. Since then, I've lived off the grid. No social media, no permanent address, prepaid phones, disposable email accounts, always moving, always looking over my shoulder. And every so often, in the checkout line at a gas station or scrolling through a borrowed phone, I see one of their faces, smiling from a magazine cover, giving interviews about saving the planet, hugging sick children at charity galas. How many kids go missing every year? Tens of thousands, and we just ... shrug it off. Amber alerts blink across our screens. Missing posters fade in the rain. We tell ourselves they're runaways. Custody disputes, isolated tragedies. Okay, but what if they're not? What if some of them are taken to places like Blackwood? Last week, I found another envelope. Same plain white. Same crisp fold. No return address. Inside, another list of names. Some new, some old, and one name at the very bottom, circled in red ink. Mine.